Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Boyks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
Come on, everybody.
But more importantly, as you can see, we have a special guest here, Luke Olsen. He is a contestant of the current airing season 10 of Alone. It airs only on History Channel every Thursday night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. We've been covering the season. Luke, we have been a big fan of yours from the beginning. Brother, thank you for coming on.
Of course. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
I want to kind of get off the top and to say, like, we know that you have a really big background in being in outdoors. We see this stuff. You grew up in Idaho. Your parents owned the Miracle Hot Springs Resort. So I really just want to hear from you kind of what was your motivation to go on the show? It seems like it wouldn't maybe be somebody who really needed a test. It seems like you've really kind of gone out there and done everything. So why here? Why do the show?
Oh, well, I got introduced to the show a few years ago by one of my brothers, and don't watch a lot of television, but this one hooked me. I was like, wow, that's like really experiences that I can relate to. And I had a lot of like armchair criticism and all that going on. So I was like, man, I got to do this and got to apply. And yeah, things worked out for me.
Now, is this something that when you said that you were interested in it, had you watched it before, or like once you saw it, then you really binged it? Like, what was your getting into it?
Yeah, so my brother introduced me to it, and then definitely binge watched a couple seasons that were out, and then I've been watching it for a couple years now, as it comes. And yeah, last year watching it with a friend in Hawaii, talking about my opinion about everything that was happening, and he's like, "Man, you should just apply for that." So right there on the couch on my phone, I sent a quick email, and then everything led to this.
So, what kind of like did you see yourself armchair
Yeah.
quarterbacking a little bit? And then maybe was there something that you maybe had an unfair criticism that once you actually went on and did the show, you're like, okay, maybe that was a little unfair.
Tons of stuff. It's gameplay on top of as just an observer. So all that stuff. And then, the environment too was really new to me. I'd never been in those super northern latitudes where the forest was so different and there's no hills. Everything's flat, just like crazy landscapes. Yeah, totally different plants. Everything was really, really unique and new to me. So there's a lot of challenges there.
You actually had my next point here. So, Saskatchewan, what about it made you excited? What about it made you nervous going into it once you found out this is where you were going to be?
The hunting privileges that we had. I'm not a big game hunter, and so that was something new, exciting, just like something you can't really plan for or like try to adjust for. So that was really different. Yeah, the gear choices and everything, like just like really trying to dial that in and weighing all the options. There's so many different opinions about gear and types of gear and what choices you make. So that was a lot of studying and everything to do for that area as well.
That's awesome. Brian, good.
Yeah, so I was wondering, is there anybody? I know you guys all had your like pre-drop where you're all staying together, learning. Is there anybody you made like pretty good friends with on the show, or you still keep in touch with a lot? Especially now that you're watching it live, like you guys have like a chat where you're bouncing ideas off or what you've seen of other people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we all chat during every episode and everything that comes out, and have a lot to, say about each other's experience and everything. So that's been really fun. Taz was able to come and visit me out in Hawaii for a few weeks. We did some deer hunting, a bunch of spear fishing, scuba diving. Had a really good time.
That's cool.
I definitely connected with everybody. A super unique group of people that they were able to curate, and the staff there as well. They've curated an amazing group of professionals that are also willing to go on a pretty serious adventure. The lodge that we stayed at was nothing fancy. They had to chink the walls of the cabins and get it ready for winter because it was just a summertime lodge, and they're also out there for an undetermined amount of time. So yeah, really amazing group of people that's just putting the whole thing on and doing all the logistics. So
Yeah, that's probably one thing I really love about the show is like the authenticity of it is like it just seems so real where they train you on the camera, you do all the angles, and even when you watch these drop shows, it's really informing as a viewer to learn a lot of the stuff that you guys are, because you don't know, like you said, you don't know everything about the terrain. So it's cool to see you guys learn what you do and then just use it in the situations that you're in.
yeah, just getting that a couple weeks of exposure to those islands, go see a few different places was a really big eye opener. 2 weeks, that was really valuable.
No, for sure. So I have some general questions here. Obviously, with your expertise, I thought would be fun and good for the audience. So, first thing, if you find yourself lost in the woods, I don't know, you were in some kind of reason you end up in the middle of the woods. What's the first thing somebody should do?
Yeah, yeah. Stay put and get your, fire and shelter and everything ready that you're gonna need depending on the conditions that are around you and the weather and everything. Um, don't get yourself more lost, right? That's gonna be the biggest thing. So you got there somehow, backtrack to the nearest sign of other people or trail or anything like that, and stay put if you still don't know where you are for sure.
I think that's fair. So, kind of piggybacking off of that, what are like a few survival or outdoor skills that you think are useful for even everyday people to know, like the necessities?
Oh yeah, foraging, knowing all your plants and everything. We're around them all the time. It's amazing that people can name off, 100 different brands by their logos, but plants are so unrecognized by most people. So, just embracing the value of that knowledge is really good because they're everywhere. You'll never be without the plants. Um, and then fire, manifesting fire from friction or fire from spark is just a really empowering skill. And knowing that that's in your back pocket, no matter what tools you have on you, is creates a really good mindset beyond the utilitarianness of fire itself. Right?
For sure. Brian, I think Lou had a good question, our other co-host.
Yeah, so one of the guys that was helping us do the show, his question was, what was your first meal that you had back in your real life?
Oh, let's see. I think it was soup, like chicken soup. Yeah, chicken soup, chicken vegetable soup.
Ooh, that
No,
is
no
nice.
burger, no steak.
It was great. But to be honest, the food out there was amazing. Like, I don't think I've ever, yeah, the food out on the expedition was amazing itself.
Oh, that's awesome. That's actually honestly pretty cool that you guys got to have the local fair, as it were. That's really awesome. Um, as far as like the show, I mean, obviously we're not going to get into any spoilers or results or anything like that, but what's something that maybe you got out of the show that was unexpected, that you weren't expecting to get out of it going in?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think just all the relationships with the people. Those are going to be some lifelong friendships for sure with the staff and the other contestants. Yeah, I foresee a lot more adventures coming, leading just from this one.
Now, if they asked you to come back for like a redemption season, would you do it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
That's awesome. Love that. Okay. I mean, Brian, do you have anything else here for Luke?
I don't think so. I think like really, I would like to know if you come back because I always know like if people don't, they get eliminated. Like, oh, I actually got one. So like, just because we're never going to be in this situation. What is the mental like load that you have to deal with being there by yourself? Like, what is that? Like, we've never really truly been alone like in our lives right here. Like we always have like somebody we can knock on a door, but you guys are fully out there by yourselves until you hit a button. Like, are you battling a lot of yourself of like, were there a lot of times where you're considering on leaving before you actually left?
No, there was a lot of times that something really amazing happened, and you would kind of turn to see if somebody else saw it or acknowledged it, and there's nobody there but the camera. And so after a while, you just get used to that. Like, oh, okay, the camera is what's all the eyes are behind, and so just
Mhm.
acknowledge that that's there and interact with that. And the alone time was really amazing for me. It was really rare that we get to have uh, that much isolation.
Mhm.
And when like med checks and things like that would happen and break that bubble, there's a real awareness of that, like a disturbance of that. So
So like
yeah,
that one
it was really amazing to have that much alone time actually.
So that one time where you saw that bear and you were taking shots, like if you made contact, that would that have changed like where you were mentally when you decided to leave?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of committed to myself, like, okay, if you make contact with one of these bears, then you're gonna figure out the shitty sleeping bag and you're gonna, figure out your situation and you push through this with that resource as well. Get some bear meat in your stomach and see if you feel any better. also the adrenaline of hunting bears is crazy. So, especially with the bow and arrow, right?
Yeah.
So that definitely snapped me out of it for a while. And it took a few hours after I had been tangled with the bears for a little while, for a couple of hours. It took a few hours after that for me to really calm down and realize, like, oh no, you're still super sick.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a first too if you did that. I mean, you would have been making history.
No, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I put a lot of effort into it. I stalked the bears for quite a while and got as close as I could, but yeah, she eventually saw me. So
Mhm.
It's okay, man. You got as close as any of us, way closer than any of us would have ever gotten. So don't hang your head at all. Like,
Yeah, you did great.
it was
yeah,
a
you were
great
awesome
experience for my first big game hunt.
with like no
Thanks, guys.
supplies.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a great experience for my first big game hunt. Um, doing it all by myself with nobody's input and everything. I feel like it was quite an adventure.
No, I think it was awesome. We appreciate you letting us go on your journey. We're going to continue to review all the episodes here every week. Like I said, Alone airs only on History Channel, 9 Eastern, 8 Pacific, Central every Thursday evening. We'll cover every episode, like I said, here on the Reality Guys. So make sure you're liked and subscribed so you can see all of our coverage. Luke, again, thank you. Really, really, really envious of your background and your location. It's awesome. So please go enjoy. Like I said, really enjoyed your journey, and stay in touch.
All right. Yeah, that's something. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
See you, Luke.
Bye, Luke. Thank you.